to move it, and we're good.
There's the drilled hole.
Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to check and see if I can push the underlayment back. You can actually push it away a little bit. You can feel it. If you can, I don't know if you can see it, if you can come back here and take a look, you'll see the underlayment through the hole. The drill bit's going to grab it and it's going to rip the underlayment into a big wad. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 3/8 bit and I'm going to make it really short with that tape stop, and we're going to punch just through the sheet metal so we don't grab that. And then what we'll have to do is push this this awl through the carpet. Well, we have to check the instructions, but somehow I think they have to put a hole in the carpet to get the wires through. But we need to be very careful that we don't rip this carpet with a drill bit. And they made it very clear in the instructions to be sure not to do this. Okay.
That's the hole. It's just tightening things up before we put the electrical pieces together. Now that we've actually drilled the actual hole. And once we've done that, we'll drop her and get the other part done.
What I want you to do is I want you to fish, it says in the instructions, the 5 wires. And basically what it's telling you to do is you're taking this wiring harness, which is the one supplied in the kit with the 2 connectors, you're going to push the pins through the hole underneath the carpet. You do not cut into the carpet. So we're going to go ahead and feed into.
Alright, as you can see, Wade is actually feeding the wire into the actual hole, and what you'll see soon is the very butt ends of the connectors where the actuator's power source will be basically connected. And those are the butt ends of the connectors. You just want it let to hang at that location. So, actuators, he's untying the other end, and we'll connect them right up. Alright, we're also going to put some dielectric grease on it. Can't hurt.
It'll help seal the connection.
It'll help seal the connection, as Wade just mentioned. Do the same for these. So you'll definitely have to play with it a little bit to make sure everything is nice and snug. And I believe you would definitely use the tie wraps in this situation to make sure everything is tight.
What we're going to do is I'm just going to run the wiring what looks like it's up out of the way, away from the heat sources, and then we'll make basically a bit of a wiring harness, if you will. We'll combine these two together so that they're solid.
Yeah, only a slight comment that I would actually have to say is that as you can tell, the right actuator, the power source, is in the front and pointing towards the ground, whereas the left one is actually up and facing, in the, towards the top part of the car. So that's a little bit of a change that I wish they should have kind of considered. All right, he's going to start connecting these things up. Just hear a slight click. There. Okay. Wade is now going to be using some tie wraps to get the most ideal fit.
I'm going to change that. Once you cut that.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we routed the wires to the actuators. What we've done is we've tried to keep the wires high so they don't hang down and close to any kind of a rigid structure. We tied it to the transmission mount so that the wire doesn't come around any sharp edges. You don't want anything sharp on the corner of the wire, so we cut into the insulation. So I used an existing hole, just did a little zip tie, not too tight, give it a little bit of movement. For protection, we also took some painless wiring wrap and wrapped the wires. If you work around this way, come around here. What we do is we try to take the connectors, which are the heaviest component of the wiring piece, and we try to use an existing mount, and we just bundle up the actual connectors and the remaining wire and zip tie it to this existing mount that Chevrolet had in the factory assembly. So really what we're doing is just kind of bundling things up, leaving it a little bit loose so we don't have any tight rubbing and cutting of insulation. We've zip tied the cables to the actuators themselves so that they don't have too much movement, but you do want to have a little. You don't want to make it so tight that it cuts into the insulation on the wire. So nice and clean, looks good. Ready to drop it down and hook it up.
Okay guys, remember to tie wrap, make it a nice clean installation. I got the plate on, and soon we're going to be connecting it into the car itself. So, actually, a side note, the actual piece that goes behind here to keep this on this plate, I hate to say this, but it's a really poor design. NOWEEDS got to come up with something better than that, but hey, I'm not complaining. This thing is going to rumble in a minute. After some grueling wrestling with this thing, we've actually managed to put the actual control box, and now we're about to go ahead and pop in the seat. Let me just say, it was not easy to get this to be as clean as it looks right now. Okay, the actuators or the diverters are actually closed, and we're going to open them up.